Okay, yesterday got all my breakers in finally. Now a couple of these are spaces where I've wired them. I'm not going to put a breaker in there now because that's just for the future. If we decide to get an electric stove in the kitchen, things like that, I've pre-wired those. I do need to get a breaker for this one. This is the sub panel for the pump room, which wasn't planning on, so it wasn't part of it when I ordered it. And then I think I need to get this one, I believe, and this one's blank. I'm leaving it blank for just as a space for addition. So I'm trying to keep everything the same. So this is all, first floor. Get all of our 240 amp breakers up here. This is all second and third floor. So I left, I think this is the pellet stove outlet, which wasn't planned on when I ordered this. And then I'm going to leave a blank there in case we need to add a breaker in there for something else on the middle level. But one thing I was not aware of, and it kind of freaked me out when I hooked this up, was that these make noise. They almost sound like a computer fan running. So I put them all in and flipped the main breaker and immediately heard this odd noise. It made me step back a little bit because usually sizzling breakers is not a good thing. But I did talk to Leviton this morning, and they said no, it's perfectly normal with the style of breakers these are. Put the cover on, you won't be able to hear it. So I haven't decided. They have a solid cover, and they also have a cover which has a glass front on it. It looks real nice and decorative. I haven't decided if I'm going to get the glass one or just the solid one. The glass one would look cool. I have to decide if it's worth the extra 60 bucks, I think, for the glass one. But I got my wires in. They're not as pretty as I would like, but they're not horrible by any means. This side turned out a lot better because, like I mentioned in a previous video, when I started this side, I ended up starting at the bottom, which was a bad idea because as I brought my wires in and worked up, I had to tuck them all back behind the existing wires to get down to my ground lug. And then coming in from the side didn't give me much room to make them pretty. So as comparison, you see on this side, I start at the top. All the wires come down, turn in, turn. It just looks a lot neater than I think than this side. But I only have a couple breakers on right now. This was the original one that we had going, which was for the craft room, which is directly below me. I did replace this. This has a arc fault and a GFI. So ground fault and arc fault is included in the same breaker. Then this little Wi-Fi signal means this is going to send a usage information to a hub, so I can track how much usage the outlets use for that particular room, how much the lights use, and so on and so forth. Most of these are going to be arc faults. There's arc fault, arc fault, arc fault. So those are required in pretty much all your living spaces. And then arc fault, ground fault is required in any spaces that have water next to them. So covered all my bases there. A couple of these do not have, like this one does not have arc fault or ground fault. These go to the appliances. So this covers like the outlet for the electric or for the gas stove in the craft room, dishwasher, things like that. Reason being is that a lot of times those appliances will throw false signals and trip the breakers a lot. So those don't have the arc fault or the ground fault in them. I think I only have 3 or 4 of those. But all these are Wi-Fi except for this one. This one runs the smoke detectors and is also going to run the Leviton hub, which will relay information back to the internet so I can see usage amounts. The power consumption on that is so low I didn't feel like I had to pay the extra expense to get an actual Wi-Fi plug for that, or breaker for that. But I went ahead and ordered the one I need for up here and that one today. They should be here in a couple weeks, but they're not needed right now anyway, so it's no big rush. And then I'm going to get back to wiring a few things up. These other breakers that are on, all the breakers in the garage south wall are wired and operating now. And then this one is for the lights that runs the craft room, mudroom, garage, and the lights on the back soffit. So what I'm going to do today is finish wiring those up so we can have nice light switches and outlets all around. I probably won't do any other wiring until everything gets foamed. I'm ready to hook things up fully. But this will make things a lot more convenient because we'll have easy access to switches and lights and things like that, which will make things Great. I just hooked up so this is the Leviton smart breaker system. So the reason why I bought this is a little bit extra. Actually, it's quite a lot extra. The breakers are anywhere from about $15 to $100 a piece for the breakers.
Ouch.
Depending on if they are arc fault, if they are ground fault, or if they're like a big one like one of these, the 240 volt ones. But these are all built in Wi-Fi, so I don't know if you can see the signal there, but those are for Wi-Fi signals. And I just hooked up the router, or not the router, but the hub here. So I hardwired it into my smoke detectors because there's nothing on the smoke detectors except for the smoke detector doesn't use much power, and then the two lights that are in here. So I pigtailed into it. You're not supposed to put two wires into the same breaker because if you have two wires going in and you tighten the nut down and it presses down on one more than the other one could sit there and arc back and forth. So you always want to have just one wire going into your breaker. So out here I pigtailed them together. So there's only one wire going in the breaker and it splits right there. Down and over to my hub. And then I heard from reviews that it kind of cuts in and out with Wi-Fi, so I actually made a network line and hardwired it in, and I'll strap these up later because I ended up having to hardwire in my gateway for the solar system, so doing the same thing. I kept cutting in and out, so I hardwired that. Now it works fine. But anyways, what I'm doing now is I just downloaded the app. So it found all the breakers, and then the app tells me to look at which one's flashing and identify what it is. So I'm going to say this is second floor lights for living room, office, bathroom. Then it goes to the next one. Basically, so it'll flash this one. I'll ask it to, it'll ask me what circuit it is, what number it is, and what's on it, and it'll go to the next one. Eventually, it'll categorize all these out, so I can look at my phone. I can see exactly how much wattage each breaker is using, which I'm going to find useful because I'll be able to tell if Grandpa Barry or one of the girls is sitting up till 4 o'clock in the morning playing on their devices or things like that. And if they are, I can go click them off from my phone.
That'll be good considering we have a teenager.
Yeah, we're going to have a teenager. Well, we do have a teenager.
We do have a
now.
Teenager, yeah.
So if they're up too late or things like that, I can just click them off. But also, if we're on vacation or things like that, I can tell if the pump is pumping like crazy. I can set up limits for warnings, things like that. I can tell if there's something weird going on. I can also turn things off if we're out of town and stuff too. But the biggest thing was the usage. I wanted to be able to tell exactly where our power is going to and find out where our energy hogs are. Okay, the video you just saw was actually from about 5 years ago maybe, and you can see I never put the panel on the front. I did get the one that had the glass in it, but the problem with the glass is then there's no place to put the stickers for labeling your breakers. Haven't quite figured that out yet, so the cover is actually sitting somewhere over there. But that's one of the disadvantages to having the glass cover on, is you can't label anything. You may notice a few other things missing. There was some components here in those videos that was from the original solar system that we put in. The fans you can hear is actually from our new solar system, because those inverters I got are a lot louder than the Schneider ones I had before. I'm actually sitting on those inverters right now. But the systems overall has been really nice. Everything's gone through smoothly. I like checking the app every now and then because I can see what usage I have, see if I have any spikes, things like that. Living off grid, it's nice to know that information. We haven't really had any issues or anything to correct along the way. I would say that one of these breakers, that's an arc fault. I mentioned that video not to use those on appliances and things like that. We have found that sometimes our washing machine will pop, and that's on arc fault, so I probably need to change, I think it's this one, I need to change that out to a non-arc fault so it won't pop all the time. Not very often, it's maybe once a month, but that drives my wife nuts. But anyways, overall it's been great. I have modified this panel. You can see this box over here, that's my combiner box for the other two inverters that I have. Those wires come down. And then when I had both the systems set up, I had this breaker ran a new system and this breaker ran the old system. So what I did was I took a panel just like that, tore it apart, mounted it in here, and then ran everything up so I could switch back and forth to a new and old system when our old system was having issues. Wasn't by any wasn't by any fault of our own, but the inverters had a firmware update, and that caused a software conflict, which basically caused the inverters no longer to talk to the rest of the system. So they actually gave us 2 new inverters, but I ended up not using those. I ended up buying these other ones instead. There's a whole long story about that. Maybe I'll get into it at some point. But this video is about the Leviton breaker system. It's really been great. I can't shut them off. Like if I'm in bed and I need to shut something off, usually if it's if it's cold out and we've had cloudy days for 5, 6, 7 days, and I'm trying to conserve power, and I'll look at something on my phone and say, well, you know, it's midnight, I can go ahead and shut the deep freeze off for the night and turn it back on in the morning. I can just click it from my phone, which is nice. And then the usage data is always nice too, because I can see what actually draws the most power. One of the biggest surprises is that the appliances really don't draw much power at all. Fridges, freezers, all that stuff. It'll pull probably 300 to 600 watts depending if everything's on or everything's off. And usually it's even less than that because they're clicking on and off at random times. So normally all the appliances we have in the house, fridges, see we have 2 fridges, 3 freezers, they will on average probably run about 300 watts. If they're all on at the same time, they'll probably be that 600 to maybe 800 on the very, very high end, but that's hardly ever at all. They still sound, you can't hear them over the fans, but they still sound like little fans going on in there. It's like a little sizzling fan blowing, which I'm used to it now, but definitely freaked me out when I first put them in. But I was a little concerned about these breakers not being around. These are kind of specialized breakers, and I have had to change one of them out, which went bad. And boy, at that price, I bought that right after COVID, and it was very expensive. It was like $180, I think, for a breaker that used to be about $70. And now they're back down to pretty much normal. Probably about 70, 80 bucks for a breaker, 125 or so for one of the larger ones. But it also depends if it's arc fault GFI, if it's got the wireless capability or not. The hub is still working fine, never had any problems with that. I know a couple of reviews I saw, people had said that the hub went out on them, they couldn't find it. I didn't have any problems with the hub, it's been great. The one really nice thing about the panel is, of course, when you take the breakers out, you wire everything up, and then you can pop the breakers in and out without having to disconnect any wires. On a traditional breaker panel like the one down here, if I had to change this breaker out, I have to unwire everything. I have to take the wires out of it, pop the breaker out, wire back up, pop the breaker back in. And with this, I can just pop it out, pop in. It's no big deal. It's nice and quick and easy. And then all I gotta do is hop on the app, find the breaker, add it back into the system. Like I said, I have had to do that once, and it was a piece of cake. So if you're looking to get a breaker box or load center, I would recommend this. All the extra information, you know, we're kind of at a digital, everyone wants as much information as they can have. This has been nice to have, especially for us living off grid, because I can get all this, you know, cool data at my fingertips. The app has updated a few times since we purchased this. And it's been a pretty seamless transition, so I actually have more data now than I had back when we first bought the system. And it's been nice. The only downfall is I got that dang door that has the glass on it, and I still haven't labeled everything. I got my piece of cardboard which says what every breaker is off to the side. I thought about mounting it right here and doing something that way, kind of protect those wires too, so maybe I'll do that one of these days. But this system, the new system, is about ready to move into the location where the old system was. It was kind of a temporary setup. So when I get that all switched over, then I can take all of this out. I can reuse that box over there. So a lot of bit of planning to do to figure out how all that's going to work.